Fragile X syndrome. Fragile X syndrome is the most common inherited genetic condition causing intellectual disability in which the FMR1 gene on the X chromosome makes little or none of the FMR protein, resulting in a disruption of brain development. Children with Fragile X also have more copies of the CGG DNA segment, repeating more than 200 times when compared to only 40 times in a typically developing child. The more times this segment repeats, the more severe the symptoms are. Fragile X syndrome description. Some symptoms that can be noted with Fragile X are problems with speech, lack of eye contact, hand flapping, poor temper control, anxiety, sensitivity to light and sound, hyperactivity, trouble focusing, and aggression. Some physical features that can be noted are large head, long or narrow face, large ears, prominent jaw and forehead, and low muscle tone. Functional problems associated with Fragile X syndrome. Cognitive delays, anxiety and hyperactive behavior, developmental delays such as delayed speech, communication, and social issues. Sensory discrimination issues such as poor processing of sensory and motor information, resulting in poor coordination and poor motor planning. Sensory modulation problems, trouble responding to and utilizing fundamental brain functions such as arousal, alertness, attention, organization, and coping and adaptation and self-regulation. Sensory issues can restrict attention, social, and cognitive development, potentially resulting in behavior problems such as anxiety. Key sensory systems affected. The tactile system is one system that is affected with Fragile X syndrome, and this will look like poor oral control, such as overstuffing their mouths, trouble brushing their teeth, picky eaters due to texture preferences, wearing certain clothes, and hypo-responsiveness to certain things. Another sensory system affected is the proprioception and vestibular systems, and this will be seen with things such as trouble climbing stairs, trouble riding a bike, issues tolerating escalators or elevators, balance issues, seeking increased amounts of pressure input, and using too much or too little force. Another system affected is the auditory system, and this can be seen with difficulty in following directions, problems distinguishing between some similar sounds, speaking too loud or too softly, tolerating loud noises such as the vacuum. Another system affected is the visual system, and this can be seen with tolerating bright lights and making eye contact. And lastly, fine motor is affected, and this can be seen with difficulties in holding small items such as pencils, manipulating small toys, and tying shoes. Some intervention ideas for school and home are sensory diets, and these can be utilized a lot in the school with helping with things such as proprioception. So you could be doing jump rope, pushing and pulling heavy carts, having these children carry books to and from the office to the rooms, and doing partner push-ups. To work on the vestibular system, you could do things such as swinging. With the tactile system, you can do anything such as coloring or creating scrapbooks. Auditory system, listening to nature sounds through headphones. For the visual system, sit at the front of the room to avoid any distractions that the child may see if they are at the back of the room. With smell, play a guessing game with different types of scents. And taste, you could play games such as Bean Boozled or have the child taste. Another thing that could be done for school or home is the How Does Your Engine Run program. And this program teaches children changes in how their body is, such as walking or jumping on the trampoline before homework, and seeing if that will help them focus more, or just figuring out what is really the best intervention for this child. Some more interventions for home and school: muscle skill treatment, stair walking exercise, hopscotch, obstacle course, swimming, cornhole, balloon tennis, or volleyball. Some things to work with cognition function would be memory games, puzzles, visiting a zoo or museum, writing stories, and giving rewards for reading books. To work on social aspects, use social stories to promote peer interaction and set the child up with a pen pal that they can communicate with on a regular basis. Some precautions to be wary of with children with Fragile X are seizures, environmental safety, and always being sure to monitor the child's vitals when doing any type of intervention.